All right, we can watch the Broski shit. I skimmed it because it came out. What is it? When I was like semi-sleep. Is the shit a good character if you're unemployed? Yes.
On here, I dropped my list of what I think are the 5 worst moves in the game. So today, we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum for what I think are the 5 best moves in the game.
5 best moves.
When it comes to the worst moves in the game, I think you can easily like transplant them onto any other character and they would still be bad. So like, if you gave Akuma Thunderstorm, for example, it would still be a terrible move. Like, I think it's much easier to rank bad moves. But I found it much more tricky trying to kind of like appraise the best moves. Because there are certain moves in this game that are like balanced against the rest of a character's tools. So basically, if you're anywhere below 50% health, the moment that Zangief stocks level 3, every single time he gets close to you, he's putting you in a 50-50 for the game. It's terrifying.
Yes, level 3 is something else.
Yeah, it makes his offensive pressure absolutely ridiculous, but I think what really pushes it into my list of top 5 is actually how good this thing is defensively. Because if you guys don't know, Zangief has like some of the worst defensive options in the game, right? He has no invincible reversal, his level 1 doesn't work as a wake-up option, and his level 2 is very slow. So Zangief's defensive options in this game are pretty terrible across the board. But the moment that he ticks over and hits that 3-bar threshold, he goes from having like the worst defense in the game to some of the best defense in the game. Because this super is completely unjumpable after the flash, which means that it's not just the case that Zangief might wake up with level 3.
Nah,
it means that you can't even really like.
You know what's funny, bro? How much on a bet someone sweaty like Boost or some shit be like, yo, the super's actually not that good. Boost would be like that guy, be like, nah. I have set up for this. I'm like, motherfucker.
If Zangief just wakes up at level 3, this thing has actually got good range. You might have just lost the entire round. If
this guy said, what did Boost say? Boost said like it was with Zangief or something. He was like, da. This is why I always mash EXDP in a certain situation after like SPD or some shit. I'm like, what?
This super is terrifying.
Like, it makes no sense, but it makes sense.
But it massively buffs his offensive pressure and his like defensive options as well. Okay, let's move on to number 4. And number 4, I think, is maybe the one in the list which a lot of people will be confused by.
Gonna get with him probably.
I think the remaining 4 that I've got here are, most people would agree they're really good moves, but I think this one might come as a surprise to some people. Number 4 is a move belonging to Ed, and it's actually one of his normals. I'll give it up to
is it
chat.
medium
you guys,
or
1 person out of 50 get this right? But yeah, this is what I think is a surprising one. I think the 4th best move in the game right now is this.
Oh,
Ed's crouching light kick.
Oh, he's adding normals. Wait,
it's not flashy.
Wait, so this is adding normal special moves and super moves? That's a hard list, actually. I could see that though, crouching light kick, because it's a good buffer move.
Well, I think a lot of people are not really paying attention to this thing. This normal is absolutely cracked.
You know, okay. For me, because I'm a bum, so I'm very mellow and everything like that. I'm over here just like, it's a good normal. Okay, maybe I don't see the sauce, but I'm just over here just like, cool.
I think as time has passed, and the meta
I'm such a mellow person, and I'm just chilling,
and
I just be like,
normal is.
It's pretty good.
5-frame startup, so it's slightly slower than.
But this is kind of like for him, it's a give and take. Basically, he doesn't have light kick normals like normally, but he gets these in or like a flickers.
But in exchange, you get absolutely insane range for a 5-frame. Like, this goes really far. And that makes it one of the absolute best punish moves in the game for moves that are like -5, -6. And there are a lot of things in this game. Like Street Fighter 6, if you guys don't know, this game is full of moves.
It varies. This varies if you say it's the best move for 5-frame punishes.
Safe if you kind of space them.
I don't know. Ken's light kick will be up there.
Has so many exceptions where he can just punish things that no other character in the game could punish.
Ken's light kick is definitely up there.
It's designed to push you back to like this distance where most lights won't reach. But like Ed just says, you know, fuck your safe ender. I'm punishing you into.
I mean, that's also
so another common
Bison.
Move that's -5, but is designed to be hard to punish unless you space it right.
Bison, Ken. You can add a lot of characters in that variety.
So against 99% of the cast, Bison's Scissors is not punishable at this distance. It does too much pushback, and it's only -5. Once again, Ed can kind of break the mold and gets full punishes off this. There's a few normals in this game that have similar range to Ed's crouch light kick. Like we just looked at Ken's stand light kick. But I think the reason why Ed stands out so much to me is not just the fact that it has huge range, but it's also a really, really good combo starter.
I mean, yeah, it's a buffer normal.
I guess that's too close to the corner for the full desync.
Bro, there's just, bro, shit happens. Bro, I can say this about light kick with Ken. You do the light kick into like 3 bars, carry him to the corner, get a safe jump and everything.
It's a relatively low risk because this buffer is safe on block. It's also a really good defensive poke. It's not just good for like punishing. You can just kind of sit back in the mid-range.
But yeah, I mean,
there's a buffer this thing. It has fairly low recovery.
I'm in the background of like when people are debating, like, what do you think, Jack? I'm like, I think it's good. Almost like Jiraiya, where I'm so lazy and everything, but when I lock in, I lock in.
All right, let's move on to.
I am definitely that guy,
This one's
bro.
probably less controversial.
I just stare in the camera. I'm just like,
button is insane. Lily's only button.
Oh yeah, what is it? Crouching? Yeah, crouching.
It's punching. Lily's crouch
that shit solves. This shit does your taxes.
Single-handedly keeping Lily viable. Like I've never
this shit
seen
literally does taxes, pays your rent
by a single button before.
Helps you get a job.
This thing does everything for the character. So as she swings, you'll notice that she has this absolutely
this is a trust fund button, bro.
Hitbox above her head,
bro. Look at this shit. What do you want me? What do you want me to hit? What do you want me to hit? What do you want me to hit? Because this is the first, second, third. What do you want me to hit her? Listen, here's how I know if a button is cheap. A certain character. Chakotay plays a character and abuses that button. That's how I know it's cheap. This man spams this. He's right to spam this. But if I know he spams it, cooked.
Purely in terms of hitboxes, it is incredible.
Don't need to play the character. I just need to show that.
I show gameplay of that. Hitbox above her. So it's also an amazing anti-air as well as a poke. So this thing will also anti-air, and the anti-air hitbox even goes behind her head. So it's even anti-cross up. Like it's very rare for normals to hit this far behind your head. If it counter hits, which it will a lot of the time, you even get juggles afterwards on anti-air, which is ludicrous.
Brother.
So yeah, you can get big combos for anti-airing with her best anti-air normal. Street Fighter 6 kind of has like a defensive option select you can do, where if your opponent does a drive rush cancel off a normal, you can just go for EXDP. And the way it works is that if they just do like drive rush into a jab, it's a true block string, and your DP doesn't come out. But if they try and go for a frame trap, then you die. This is a very common like defensive option select in this game. However, Lily can completely ignore this option select because, like I said, her crouch fierce does 10 years of block stun. There aren't many characters in the game that can do this. I think there's only like a small handful of heavies which let you block in time after a drive rush. So you can't even use that option select against Lily. No character in the game is as reliant on a single button to do everything as Lily. So I had to just give her the number 3
I don't know if you don't like that.
Number 2 spot. You might expect, if you've ever watched this stream before, that I'm going to talk about Jinrai.
Dragon Lash?
You might have assumed
Stand heavy
Jinrai
punch?
time was coming.
Okay.
It's not Jinrai.
Bro, if he says stand heavy punch, light kick, dragon lash, fireball, jab.
It's Ken's stand heavy punch.
Okay,
this is number 2.
Yeah, stand heavy punch.
This
yeah,
is
that
the
shit.
real reason why
that shit definitely helps
in the game. It's this thing. So Ken's stand fierce is 10 frame startup, which is pretty good. Has a really nice extended hitbox in front of him. It's -2 on block, so it's completely safe. And it only has 17 recovery frames, which not a lot of people have mentioned, but I think it's worth pointing out. This thing on whiff has like the same amount of recovery frames as like a medium.
Bro, heavy punch literally saves lives. That shit is low-key probably a 500k button.
For some unknown reason, this button also has 5 active frames.
Yeah, the active frames,
so
bro.
It's -2 on block.
Bruh.
It's like the easiest thing in the world to make plus up for a knockdown. It's +1. It's just cruise control for like easy plus frames.
You just be like,
don't even really
all right, cool, plus frames, let's get it.
For this thing. You just press stand fierce as they're getting up, and you get a meaty. Special cancelable. So if you were thinking of trying to counter it with like DI, for example, then good luck to you. That was cool. I wasn't expecting the same frame trade, but cool. The reason I think that it deserves its own mention is because this string exists.
Yep.
Stand fierce into medium Jinrai. But this is a true block string, by the way. There is no gap between stand fierce and medium Jinrai. So if you aren't already parrying before the stand fierce, there is no gap here. And that means that if you do this whole string into Jinrai low,
that's a whole 1.1
this
bars.
Can absolutely shred your opponent's drive gauge for relatively little risk. This buffer alone can probably carry you straight to master rank. Like, I'm not exaggerating. If you wanna go straight to master
You're not
rank
wrong
as
a little
quickly as
bit.
possible, just do this. But what really makes it obnoxious is that it's quite a slow string, and during the entire thing, Ken is also regenerating his own drive gauge, so it can cause massive swings in drive control very quickly. Like, watch what happens here. I'm gonna set myself to, let's say, 3 bars of drive, and my opponent is at 6 bars of drive. So in this situation, I'm at a 3 drive deficit. Watch what happens when
he's
I
right
this
though.
into medium Jinrai.
It's a bar for a bar.
Over a bar of drive for doing that low risk string, and my opponent lost over a bar.
Yeah.
So effectively, like, the total swing in drive, it went from me being at a 3 bar deficit to us being roughly the same, which is crazy in this game. Like, being able to just immediately reverse the drive positions off a pretty safe buffer is very, very unusual. I think this button is the one that is like the linchpin that is keeping Ken extremely strong in this game. It's time for us to move on to what I believe to be the single best move in this game. I don't think this is remotely contentious. I think everyone should agree with me. And
I mean, it's level 2, right?
If you don't, then
it's level 2. Yeah.
You're an individual with your own thoughts and feelings. I can see the exclamation mark Rashid
it's level 2
chat already. Yeah.
It's Rashid level 2. Yeah.
What else would it be? Where did you think I was going with this? Rashid's fucking level 2. It's the best move in the game. It's not even close. Small number of characters that do have like anti-protect.
This shit is what is it?
They usually still have to take huge risks.
Evil second place worthy.
To get through this thing. As far as I know, the only character in the entire game who has a somewhat reliable option to this is Bison's EX
Psycho Crusher.
What's it called? Psycho Crusher. Once it's
I'm trying to think. All right.
Rashid basically gets 2
of all the characters in this situation. Luke doesn't have an answer. Ken, Manon, Kimberly. Aki technically has an answer, but I can EX Eagle Spike through it, so it kind of null and void depending on the situation. Bison's like the only one with a legitimate way around it.
And there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Here's the funny thing also, if you try to spin knuckle through this and you land on a tornado and I block it, you get hit. And now you look like dumb.
Like, if you try to be as risk averse as possible and accept that you're going to have to take the throw, you're probably still going to lose over 30% of your health. Like, that's the minimum best case scenario.
He's a little bit capping, because there's situations where actually if you read him, you can actually have very less risk. Like, you just parry and everything like that. So that's a little bit like...
And even if you manage to make all the correct defensive decisions, your drive gauge is going to get absolutely obliterated by this thing. Your reward for perfect defense here...
That's if you block it out. Yeah, that's not real, obviously.
Is losing half of your drive gauge, maybe more. Like, best case scenario, you lose.
Like, you get parry and everything like that. If you call him out, you get a read like back door. You actually has ways around it, but it is still fucking dumb.
I can't stress enough that none of your defensive options even work here. Like, you can't even drive reversal this thing.
But unfortunately, the way it works is just fucked. Yeah, that's how you drive reversal at a bad time.
There you go.
That shit's fucked.
You wanted to try and use the defensive mechanics that the game gives you. You also lose 55%.
Yeah, you got every shot. And that's never the main true.
Through this damn thing.
Bro, that didn't work in 5. That didn't work in 5. What? This move is definitely probably the best, if not one of the best moves in the game.
Think to yourself, okay,
but a lot of this shit,
now they've burned themselves out.
It's like
level 2,
semi-true.
Nothing you can
it's
do.
like one of the things like,
and their burnout time.
You're right, but you're wrong.
Like taking.
Here's what you can do.
spot themselves out.
For example,
aim
right?
themselves
In this
out,
situation, right?
and then they just activate level 2.
In this situation, you're fucked. I agree. You're 100% fucked. This is a no-brainer,
nothing
right?
you can do.
This is a
And their
no-brainer.
burnout timer is recovering.
But right here, you drive reversal. Now, granted, yes, you're gonna lose 3 bars, but at least it's an answer, you know.
And
You don't
they
have to
managed
hold this unless
regenerate,
either
like,
you want to
60%
block
of the
or
burnout timer. While
what is it?
doing,
You want to
like,
block
taking
and
no
hold that,
risk
or
whatsoever.
you're burnout.
Actually, speaking of drive gauge damage, one thing I have noticed
Most don't
recently
do
is
that.
a lot of Rashid players have started doing this. They're not even activating from full screen anymore. Sometimes they'll just do crouch fierce activate up close. And even just doing this, look how much drive gauge damage something like this does to the opponent.
I mean, yeah, I say I'd rather lose 3 bars and be like, get off of me.
Full corner carry on block too.
Like, bro, yeah, that happens, but bro,
those are my 5 best moves in the game. If you guys disagree, as I said, let me know down in the comments.
yeah, I mean, I think Broski kind of hit on the nail. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like true. Level 2 is, level 2 saves lives, 100%. But he is wrong about like some situations because you can actually, you can drive reversal. You can, if you're good at perfect parry and everything like that and whatnot, you actually can beat it. So there are ways. I think some of that, most of it is really truthful. Honestly, like, yeah, that shit's done.